Hello student, today we are having a quick revision of the chapter 2 Nationalism in India. Let us start with me. See, this chapter starts in the year 1914 and ends with the year 1934. It means the circumstances took place within a year that helped to create a sense of collective belongings amongst Indians, and it helped a feeling and a sense of being oppressed under Britishers. And finally, when our dignitaries or important leaders call for the peoples, they come with a huge number and they give a final blow to the Britishers. But how these stories start, we will look one by one. Now, see, our journey of nationalism starts in the year 1914 to 1918, as you know, the First World War. See, the First World War created a huge impact over political, economic, and social life over the Indian people. And the people feel first time that for their miseries, for their grief, British people are responsible, and finally it helped to grow the kind of nationalist sentiment among the people, and they thought that British Raj is not going to suit for their interests. Now, how these things possible, how people are able to understand the feeling of collective belongings and able to fight against the Britishers, naturally it starts with the entering of our great personality Mahatma Gandhi. The political journey of Mahatma Gandhi starts from returning of Mahatma Gandhi from South Africa to India. When Mahatma Gandhi returned from South Africa to India, he wanted to become or he wanted to join the active politics. But with due respect of his political guru, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, he has started visiting from one place to another place, one village to another village to know the condition of the common people, then enter into the active policy. In the meantime, in the year 1916, Mahatma Gandhi was called by the local leader of the Champaran, Bihar, to come and see the pitiable condition of the indigo peasants. So finally, Mahatma Gandhi reached in the year 1916 Champaran, where he first used his tool Satyagraha, and finally he was able to combat the battle, and finally the indigo peasants were got relaxation, and the oppressive indigo plantation system was removed. In the next year, there was a crop failure in the Kheda district of Gujarat. So Mahatma Gandhi went there and they did a struggle for the peasants, and finally Mahatma Gandhi able to get a relaxation from the kind of relaxation from the uh, uh, relaxation in the land revenue, and finally the peasants of the Kheda were get benefit. Next year, Mahatma Gandhi went to Ahmedabad cotton mill, where he was able to solve the dispute with the mill owner and mill workers, and finally the mill was being reopened and the wages of the workers were raised. So these three local incidents made Mahatma Gandhi popular within Congress, not only the Congress but in the rest part of the India, and Mahatma Gandhi emerged as a great personality, a great saint, a great leader, a great social reformers to change the Indian prospect. Now, we see that during that particular year, in the year 1919, there was lot of extremist activities were going to start against the Britishers. So finally, Britishers need a law, harsh law, so that the extremist activities could be curtailed or could be suppressed. So under the chairmanship of Justice Rowlatt, a act was being passed. hurriedly by the Imperial Legislative Assembly, in which police got a right to detain any political prisoner for at least 2 years without giving cause. Naturally, this act was a brutal, and the most of the people, even Mahatma Gandhi, told this law as a black law. Some important leaders mocked this law as a no vakil, no appeal, no dalil. So finally, there was a great unrest, or there was a great dissent for the Rollock Act, and finally, under the Mahatma Gandhi, first time nationwide hartal or strike was organized on the 6th April 1919, and the impact was very impressive, and it lots of people were came forward, and finally this movement became the wider one, and it started taking a national shape. But in the meantime, British took repressive measures, and lots of people were being arrested. In certain cities, if there was a violent incident, the martial law was being imposed. In the meantime, we know the great incident, very unfamous incident of the Jallianwala Bagh, in which 13th April, the hundreds of people were being killed. As we know that there was a martial law being imposed in Punjab. Mahatma Gandhi were not allowed to enter into the Delhi. Certain leaders were being booked behind the bar. In this situation, we know that in Punjab, the two important leaders were being arrested. So, on the 13th April, when there was a festive uh, uh, festive incidents was there, the Baisakhi was being celebrated. In the meantime, the lots of people gathered in the Jallianwala Bagh to celebrate Baisakhi. But in the meantime, there was certain people also who want to take the advantage and planning what to do next. But in the meantime, as we know that there was a martial law, there was a kind of 144 or curfew, shoot and sight order was there. So the in charge of the Amritsar, General O'Dwyer, wanted to create a moral uh, terror of effect and awe in the minds of the common people, and for that the narrow entrance of Jallianwala Bagh was being blocked, and people and the police started firing over the people till the great last, in which the hundreds of the people, the thousands of the people were being killed. So this infamous Jallianwala Bagh incident revealed the oppressive face of the Britishers, and finally our important leaders along with the Congress decided to launch a quick action against the Britishers, and for that in the year 1920 the Congress in Calcutta session decided to launch a massive action against the Britishers, and finally they have seen that the non-cooperation movement was started by the Mahatma Gandhi. In the meantime, one thing also we should know, that due to the restoration of the Khalifa in Ottoman Turkey, there was the Muslim brothers Sayyid Ali and Muhammad Ali. They started a movement which is known as the Khilafat movement. So these Ali brothers started the Khilafat movement, and Mahatma Gandhi saw it's a golden opportunity for the Hindu-Muslim unity. So Khilafat movement and non-cooperation movement, it was proposed to start side by side. But we know that in the November there was a council election, so there was a difference between the leaders of the Congress, either to take part in the council election or to oppose. But finally, in the Nagpur session of the Congress in the year 1920, they come on the consensus that the Congress is going to start non-cooperation movement, and finally we see that non-cooperation movement is started. And this non-cooperation movement has a huge impact over the people, and lots of people with a huge number They come up from their street, their houses, and finally this non-cooperation movement become a mass movement. And sometimes we see that why non-cooperation, because it was a movement, it was a thinking of Mahatma Gandhi, which reflect in his book Hind Swaraj in the year 1909. If we will not cooperate to the Britishers, the British Raj will collapse within a year. So in the year 1921, finally Nansiyam start along with the along with the Khilafat movement, and the methods was boycott, the surrender of titles, and the boycotts of the foreign goods, boycotts of the courts, the boycotts of the services, etc. So uh, the boycott and the surrender of titles was here that the tools for the non-cooperation movement. Hence, non-cooperation movement is sometimes also known as the boycott movement. Now, in the year 1921, when the movement was on peak, there were certain instances of aggressive fighting, aggressive attack over the police station, etc. In the meantime, we see that on 12th February 1922, in the Chauri Chaura district in Gorakhpur, we have seen that the 22 policemen were being booked inside the police station, and they set police station set on fire. So finally, with the killing of these policemen, Mahatma Gandhi heard the movement is going to be violent. So finally, Mahatma Gandhi decided to call off the NC, and Mahatma Gandhi uh, indulge himself into the constructive activities. They remove himself from the active politics, and himself concentrated into the promotion of khadi, charkha, upliftment of women, education, etc. In the meantime, there were certain leaders within a Congress who wanted to continue the non-cooperation movement. So, among these, Motilal Nehru, C.R. Das, and others were who founded a Swaraj party within a Congress and continued this movement. But the impact of this movement was not wide. Now, we see in the year 1924 to 27, there was a kind of slowdown in the movement, especially the Congress. During that period, we will also see that the extremist activities were grown. Whenever the Mahatma Gandhi's position weakened, we have seen the extremism become the more active. Now, again, Indian politics came on a kind of earthquake with the Simon Commission. When the Simon Commission reached India to see the functioning of the previous law and suggest necessary changes, the Congress and other important leaders boycotted the Simon Commission because most of the dignitaries, most of the members of the commission were Europeans. There was no Indians. As a result, the Simon Commission was boycotted and greeted with the slogan Simon go back. Wherever Simon visited, they were being shown a black flag, and they faced a protest. No, in the meantime, again, the politics or Indian scenario again became so much active, so much kind of violent with this Simon Commission, and finally in see that in the year 1929 we see that the Lahore session of Congress, again Congress Mahatma Gandhi returned here, and we see that the proposal of the Lahore session of Congress under the presidents of Jawaharlal Nehru to start civil disobedience movement, and the notion was Purna Swaraj or the complete independence. Now we see that the movement of